Welcome to the Pistol Midweek Mental Break.
All right, Mark.
Hey.
Mark, it's midweek. Whoop, midweek.
Here we are.
Hump
day.
Hump
Yeah.
day.
Hump day.
And it will be Halloween tomorrow. Hopefully you guys have gone to all the Halloween parties you needed to go to.
Are you going
And
trick-or-treating, bro?
consumed. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going trick-or-treating. I'm bummed out that, like, in my neighborhood, they don't have, like, I don't know what happened between the time I was a kid to now, but, like, nobody decorates shit anymore.
Yeah.
There's no fucking, there's no,
The number of trick-or-treaters is almost off none.
yeah.
Right.
Well, it's unheard of to go knock on a door.
Stranger danger.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get So what I found is a lot of children get bussed into different communities, like maybe
The rich
safer,
communities.
right? Safer. You know what I mean? What's perceived.
You can
as-
say it. It's the richer communities.
Yeah, that's
or
funny.
Yeah.
or they just do trunk or treats.
Yeah.
Yeah, trunk or treat's a big
Did
thing,
you,
too.
Which here's my thing on the trunk or treats. You don't think some fucked up dude can go to a trunk or treat and trunk your kid? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's
Trunk your kid.
That's called an easy
good-
escape.
The good treats are in there by the spare tire.
Yeah. Just look a little further in there.
We
so-
were so fucked up.
Yeah.
Way to scare all the parents to death. Why are there no
We
trick-or-treaters?
are
Because of
twisted.
Yeah.
Things-
We're crazy cops. We have a demented thought process in Halloween. So this week for the midweek, a couple of things. And I don't know which one we should go first with. I guess it doesn't really matter.
They're all fucking.
It's all fucking shit.
shitty.
And I've said this before in the midweek. I never thought that there'd be enough shit with PTSD and all this stuff going on every week somewhere in this country, and yet every week it's in this state and it's in the country.
Mhm.
So we just finished up the podcast. We talked about the New York City police officers out there taking their lives one a month, which is absolutely unacceptable.
That's just one department.
Yeah, that's just one, and that's what's
And I
being
think,
counted
like,
for.
Right, and I think like 80% of those actually have taken their lives in like the last 3 months.
Right. It's ridiculous, and it doesn't seem like anyone's really paying attention.
but
for
we'll give
that.
you free health care.
Yeah. Well,
Or-
now they do. They come out when they say that they're going to give their officers free health care, which it's not. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a fucking hole in a dam somewhere.
Well, and how good is free health care? Or free mental health?
Right.
You know,
You're not going to get much help from that. So
talking to a barn door.
one of the things that had come up in the midweek in the past, especially, so there's a lot going on with Phoenix PD right now. So we'll start with Phoenix PD just because it's in our backyard,
Yep.
hometown. For those of you that know me, that have hung out with me, never have I ever been a fan of that thin blue line, because the minute that I retired and I was diagnosed with PTSD, and that line was so fucking thin. I felt more in the black void of that line. And it seems like now it's getting even thinner, because now they're getting betrayed by their own departments. Phoenix is a prime example. Last week, Chief Jerry Williams shit-canned 3, I think 2 sergeants and an officer, a detective. Now, one they're saying is criminal. So even if I just take that one to the side, there's 2 that were fired, and the disciplinary review board for Phoenix PD on the most egregious, another big word, Veronica.
That is
2 in a
already
row. Wow. So of the 2 egregious ones, I think it was a supervisor, sergeant. The disciplinary review board recommended 240 hours off, which is the max.
And that has civilians on it, doesn't it?
That does have civilians on. So
Yeah.
they've seen the video. They've come to it.
Non-department personnel recommended that many days off
Right.
for that officer.
And she fucking fired him.
Anyway.
Anyways, so she didn't even go with the board. This is why that thin blue line is getting thinner and thinner, because you never know what the fuck they're going to do to you. You never. What were you going to say, Mark?
Well, yeah, and you talk about departmental betrayal. That's right from there. And I read a follow-up post and an article on that by council member Sal DeCiccio,
That was a great post.
who was total in dissent with what she did, called her out on it, and said how that officer got no justice and got nothing about it was authorized by the department or anything like that. She just came in with this trump card and smashed it through the face of all of that civilian review board, all of the department, all of the supervision, and everything else, and really just what would have been a just punishment for what had happened.
Right.
And at least Sal DeCiccio stepped into it. And I'm not in the city of Phoenix, or I would certainly be casting a vote for that guy when his election came up, simply for the post and the support that he gave the department on that alone. I think he did a great job.
Well, and one of the things that we don't play politics in Pistol.
I do.
We can't. We can't. But as an individual, I'll tell you this much. The suspect in that entire incident that took place that cost this sergeant his job was on video with the media saying all he wanted was for people to be held accountable. Okay, I don't have a problem with that at all. But you're the one that started this, okay? He ran from the cops. This is all documented, people. Yeah. Okay, this isn't something that we're making up.
Yeah.
This is on police recording. This is CAD. This is all public record. This is on body cam, because the same body cam that catches you running from the cops, failing to yield, is the same one that you want to use to get rid of this cop.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So if you want this cop held accountable, then you need to be held accountable for the actions that you took.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It doesn't one way or the other. And that's what's shitty, is that this 19-year veteran officer, sergeant, is cast aside for this one person makes a decision that goes against the review board that was brought together by the public to give you an answer. You don't like their answer, so you just override them. It doesn't go the other way.
No.
If that review board would have said, we're going to give you 10 hours or fire him, you don't say only 240. You're never going to side.
Right.
You're playing fucking community activist,
Yeah.
looking out for or not looking out for your fucking officers.
Yeah, and it's not like the guy was coming after a Boy Scout or something like that either. This guy's got a criminal record.
Yeah.
He's been arrested since then, or had a run-in with the
Right.
law since then. And like you said, don't run. The store that you stole from wanted to press charges until they saw the social media firestorm.
Right.
Like, we're just gonna back out.
Yeah, now all of a sudden...
Cowardly, by the way.
Mhm.
I could
Very.
have slapped him for that. I'll never,
Very, very
I'll never
cowardly.
shop there for that reason.
Who was it? I don't even know who it was.
I'm not going into it.
All right.
But yeah.
So and that's the problem. That's why these officers are struggling.
Yeah.
This
Even
guy.
the victim won't stand in
Right.
in the gap and say,
They're
yeah,
too-
they stole from us.
They're too worried about the
wait
likes.
a minute. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Facebook likes and Yelp comments and stuff like that. It's just like, this world is coming unhinged, man.
And that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
You have set forth in motion for your children in 20 years to not have a good, solid police department.
It'll be like martial law.
Yeah. What the
Oh,
fuck?
yeah.
Why are we going to show up? I wouldn't show up
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah. I saw a stat, and it said that 47% of Americans believe that a massive civil unrest / civil war is imminent.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm like, whoa! Are you
Well,
kidding
there's
me, man?
there's some movement back east where they're saying they want to disarm the cops. What
Oh, yeah.
logic is that?
Yeah, yeah.
What logic is that? So when a bad guy comes to your house with a gun, who the fuck are you gonna call with a gun?
You're supposed to calm them down with words.
Love, Tony.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that happened this last week. It was national news, still is national news. The other thing that's been pretty much global is the suicides in New York, and this is something that I think somebody should take a stand on. I know there's a guy out there. There's a vet that's killed every 22 hours by suicide.
22 a day.
Yeah, 22 a day or whatever it is, and he goes out. He's actually been arrested, which, you know, hey, I'm not encouraging anyone to go out and get arrested, but at least he's taking a stand for something. And for us, that's equates to one a month. And that's just one city that's actually keeping tabs, and I think majority of them were on duty.
And the number of veterans versus the number of police officers. Number of veterans is gigantic. And I'm not discounting that because I support that cause as well. Yeah.
And one of the things that's occurring and has occurred is a local TV station here has taken some of our issues and ran with it in a multi-part series. Channel 12 is doing stories. There'll be another one coming up where an officer's had taken his life, and they'll be talking about that, how we're being treated, which leads me to the next topic, which again is in Arizona, surprisingly, is our Attorney General has taken it upon himself to check on the second responders. Again, Teabag, you guys get all the love. Like, this was
Well, that's
like
why we're
evident
there.
right here.
Here comes the fire.
We've been bitching and complaining about how we
Here it
get
goes.
treated, and all of a sudden, Teabag rides in his horse, and everybody's up in arms about the fucking fire guys.
That just makes sense.
So
it just feels right.
yeah,
It just feels right.
but hey, we'll take it any way we can get it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if your fire guys in Arizona right now on the books, you have a certain type of cancer, it's automatically accepted. Okay, they deserve as much as we do. Period. And what our Attorney General has discovered and what he asked for, he actually contacted the Industrial Commission and said, I want the percentage of denials that have been gone through in an X amount of time. I think it was a year, maybe 2 years. And he comes to find out that 40% of these claims are being denied. These are by law have to be accepted. And what the cities are doing is they're blaming the insurance company. That's how much of chicken shits they are.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, no, we didn't make that decision. It was the third-party insurance company.
Right.
Okay? This affects you tremendously if you're a first responder and a second responder.
Mm-hmm.
You are getting told that 40% of the time you're going to be denied. And that is
And what does that do to someone who wants to get help? You know, like, I mean, seriously, like,
And keep in mind, so when
not just cancer. I'm just saying, you know, PTSD too. Like
Right.
that's the same thing. We're all just dealing
Right.
with
If
getting
you're,
denied.
If you're denied for something that's by law required,
Yeah.
you're certainly not going to come out and say, I have these other
Yeah,
issues.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
just like, let's squander on our health so that we just keep everyone working.
And it isn't like a, hey, how you doing? I have this submittal for PTSD.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna deny that. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's so drawn out.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
draw
they're
it
following you. They're stalking you. They have
Right.
private investigators hiding outside of your home,
Everywhere
tailing
you
you in
go.
cars, big telephoto lens cameras and videos, and they're probably using drone work and stuff on us now. I mean, your paranoia goes through the roof, and they accentuate that. They make it even worse.
I remember
by doing that.
when I was going through it, and I was afraid to smile, like on a good day, because I was afraid that if they caught me on a good day, they're gonna be like, "See, she's good. She doesn't need anything."
Nothing
And
wrong
I'm
with
like,
her.
It got
Nothing
to the
wrong
with
point
her.
where I wouldn't
Yeah.
leave the fucking house on my
Right.
off days. Yeah.
They followed me into restaurants.
Mhm.
Ordered a Taco Bell value 3 meal.
We saw you smiling when you left the gym today.
Right.
Yeah.
Ordered the mild sauce.
Yeah.
We noticed, not the spicy.
Yeah.
What
They-
do you
Switching
hope
it
to
up
gain
today?
with that information?
Yeah.
Right.
They'd give Veronica a pass if the Cardinals won because everybody smiles when the Cardinals win. So they'd be like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Totally normal.
No, they would say that woman is crazy because she's rooting for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They don't have a chance.
So that was the big thing, which I thought would piss off a lot of people, was 40% are being denied. Now, this is just firefighters,
Yeah.
okay? This isn't the cops.
So do you remember when the Craig Tiger thing was going out and they had that story and one of the attorneys said, I want to know the percentage of people that their cases are being denied.
Yeah.
And so I think he would be really interested in these numbers right now since they just got released.
Well, one of the things that was really odd that the Attorney General said was, part of the reason that they're getting away with this is because there is no punishment for violating the law, which is stupid because that's like saying shoplifting's against the law, but you're not going to get arrested. You're not going to have any fines.
Hey, we just got rid of that. We just got through talking about that case.
Yeah. You're like, hey, I stole this. Okay, well, don't do it again, Teabag.
Yeah, just
don't do it again, because if you do it again, we're going to tell you not to do it again.
What's shitty about it is, on the other end of that, right? Cops are always punished, right? They're all, I mean, any little thing you do as a cop, they're watching you.
They max
to
penalty you.
Right,
Yeah.
but when you're essentially the victim to this, there's nothing for you.
they're just trying to set the example.
All the
Yeah,
time.
but
Isn't that what everybody says? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what all the news media says. They're just trying to set the example for later cases. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. So with that, they, I guess for this time, you're not actually a second responder, and you're actually the first responder to go in where they're actually counting the numbers. You have to go in first on this one because they're not going to pay attention to us. That's part of.
Thanks for leading the way.
Pave the way for us.
Yeah.
Lead the way.
Do
Now
what I-
you-
do
now
what
you
I
know how-
can.
Now
Do
you
what
know
I
how we
can.
feel.
Yeah, and you're getting slapped with fucking 40% of no.
Yeah.
That's a huge problem.
But
so
what's sad is it doesn't surprise me. Like, that does not surprise me. at all.
You know what?
I thought
agree.
it'd be more.
I thought it was gonna be.
I thought it'd be like 60%.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
no fucking joke.
I think they might have lied to the fucking attorney.
Like,
general.
seriously, like,
those
Yeah.
fuckers are no good.
40%.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this: like every officer that's gone in for a PTSD case, they've all been denied.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
denial. I'm like, we get this diagnosis from our department's doctor.
Right.
So how are you denying your own staff member?
They have many times.
I know they do. They
Yeah.
do it just as a matter of.
Well, you see in
procedure.
Article 6, question 7, it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
And part of the reason is they use somebody else to blame.
Mhm.
Back in Glendale, they said, it wasn't our fault. It was our lawyer's fault.
Right.
You got paid a lot of money to make that fucking mistake. That was a human life that you're fucking with, and that's what they're coming up with now. So, 3 things last week. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen next week, right? But if you're watching this, comment, leave your angry comments. I don't care. Let these motherfuckers know that it's not okay, because you're the one. I have a child under 18. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna get when they get a firefighter or police officer anymore, because nobody wants to do the job.
Yeah.
You're gonna be second guessed. You're gonna be fucking in Teabag's case. You're fucking wearing a bulletproof vest
Yeah.
for fighting a fire. That's not anything what you would have normally signed up for.
Right.
So leave the comments, let us know, and we'll see what happens.
Well, here's my question to end that off on. If you guys want to leave any comments, do you think you are worth, like, is there a price on some, that you would pay for an officer's treatment? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the insurance is doing. They're basically saying that you're worth this amount. If it exceeds that amount, you're not worth it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that. Like, what is that?
Yeah, and same thing with the firefighters. Once they get this cancer from the off gases of all these,
You've
chemicals on the
exceeded this
fires.
limit. We're not
Yeah.
gonna.
Exactly.
Well,
It's-
because
it's
they're not
unbelievable.
asking.
It's
they're
crazy.
They're not. They. This is what they think. They push 911. The genie calls the firefighters, and then you show up and make it better. They don't see us as human.
True.
They see us as a tool.
That's what.
that you
yeah.
should be dealing with. That's the problem. They're using
It's an into the bad day.
right,
Like-
and they're what they're doing is they're deteriorating that that usage. Right? People used to want to become police officers and firefighters to help people. Now it's just another. It's not even a career. It's
Yeah,
a job.
It's just a job.
Right? Like, I'll do that job for a while and then I'll quit and I'll go somewhere else
Yep.
or whatever, because you never know. Right? For us as police officers, it's indictment, period, or termination. Those are the 2 options. For the firefighters, it's
But it's not even just indictment or termination. It's literally ruining your life, because they are going to plaster you everywhere
Right.
to make sure that every part of your life now is ruined for
Right.
any reason that comes up.
and for firefighters, it's cancer, death. We learned that from New York City.
Mhm.
They did it after 9/11.
Yeah.
It's 19 years later, and all those motherfucking senators, they all forgot about it.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't want to pay for their fucking treatment. 19 years later, it's already over. Fucking 19 years, let them die.
Yeah,
That's-
they are dying.
That's what you're worth, right? And that is a problem because for us that are a little bit older in this room, Mark,
I thought I was talking to this guy.
some of us in 20 years, who knows, 30 years might not be here, but our children may.
How old are you, Mark?
I'm 78.
He's 78.
But good, clean living and listening to Tuesdays with Tony's maybe look this good.
Staying active.
So you should be very worried. And if your husband or your fucking son or daughter has expressed interest in being a first responder of any sort, you need to pay attention because they're going into a world that no longer has a retirement. It has a fucking 401.
Yeah, and they're going to be tried by social media.
Right.
Right.
And do you want your daughter or your son fucking standing trial because he defended his life? Because society said, or one fucking chief said, I don't agree with a board, so you're fired.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what we're doing to our first responders, and it's unacceptable. So, with that, you guys, that was a vicious
lot
one.
of lot of positivity there.
A lot of positivity and
Seriously.
politics in there. So, we'll see you guys next Wednesday, right? So you guys have a good one.
Adios.